Terhan Jiho stood at the viewport of Earth's orbital station, watching the alien ship approach. It was the third day since the galactic hegemony had made contact with humanity. The strange vessel glowed with a blue-green light and moved with impossible grace. "They're requesting permission to dock again," Lieutenant Park Do-yeon said. His voice was calm, but Jiho noticed how tightly he gripped his tablet. "Grant it," she replied, "and inform the council they've returned." The alien ship connected to the station with a soft hiss. Jiho straightened her uniform and prepared to greet the visitors. When the airlock opened, 3 tall beings stepped through. They had 6 limbs each and skin that shifted colors like oil on water. The leader wore a device around its neck that translated its melodic speech into human language. "Commander Han," the alien said, "I am Ambassador Trell of the Galactic Hegemony. We represent 10,000 worlds united in peace and progress." Jiho bowed slightly. "Earth welcomes you, Ambassador. We are eager to learn more about your people." Trell's skin flickered purple for a moment. "Excellent. The hegemony has studied your world for some time. You are a young species with much potential." The meeting room was prepared with chairs modified to accommodate the aliens' unusual bodies. Screens displayed information about Earth, its history, and its current unified government. Jiho had selected her team carefully: scientists, diplomats, and military personnel who wouldn't be easily intimidated. Ambassador Trell spoke at length about the hegemony's vast territory and technological achievements. "Many worlds have joined us and found prosperity under our guidance," he said. "Earth would benefit greatly from our protection." "Protection from what?" asked Dr. Yoon Seojun, Earth's leading xenobiologist. Trell's skin darkened. "The universe contains many dangers. Alone, your species is vulnerable." As the talks continued over hours, Jiho noticed a pattern. The aliens spoke of partnership but used words that suggested control. They asked questions about Earth's defenses and resources, but shared little about their own. "We propose a simple arrangement," Trell finally said. "The hegemony will establish outposts on your outer planets. We will share some technology and provide security. In exchange, Earth will supply raw materials and accept hegemony guidance on development matters." Jiho reviewed the document on her tablet. "This gives your people unrestricted access to our solar system and requires Earth to provide resources on demand." "A standard agreement," Trell said. "All member species begin this way. And if we propose changes?" Jiho asked. The alien's translator paused before responding. "Changes are unnecessary. The hegemony has vast experience integrating new species." Jiho closed her tablet with a decisive click. "Ambassador, Earth thanks you for your offer, but these terms are unacceptable. We welcome friendship between our peoples, but Earth maintains full control of its territory and resources." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Trell's skin turned a deep red. "You misunderstand your position," the alien said. "The hegemony does not request we inform. Your species will join us. The only question is how smooth the transition will be." Jiho stood, her face calm despite her racing heart. "Then we have nothing more to discuss today. Please return to your vessel." After the aliens departed, Admiral Kim Tae-ho joined Jiho in the observation room. They watched the hegemony ship move away from the station. "They're not used to hearing." "So," Kim said. Jiho nodded. "They've probably done this hundreds of times with other worlds. Come in friendly, then slowly take control." "The Council wants your assessment," Kim said. "Tell them to activate the defense grid," Jiho replied. "The hegemony isn't here to make friends." 3 days later, long-range sensors detected a hegemony vessel approaching Mars. It bypassed the communication outpost and began deploying equipment to the surface near the main human colony. "They're establishing a foothold," Kim said, watching. "The feed from Defense Platform Omega." "Just as you predicted. Have they responded to our warnings?" Jiho asked. "They've ignored all attempts at contact." Jiho looked at the tactical display. The hegemony clearly believed humans were primitive and would accept this invasion without resistance. "They've made their choice," she said quietly. "Execute Defense Protocol Sierra." From its hidden position behind Mars moon Phobos, Platform Omega locked onto the alien vessel. The advanced weapon system, part of Earth's secret defense network, fired once. The hegemony ship vanished in a flash of light, reduced to scattered atoms. In the emergency council meeting that followed, Jiho stood before Earth's leaders, her face grim. The hegemony will return, she told them, and next time they won't pretend to negotiate. Admiral Kim stepped forward. Then we'll show them that humans don't just negotiate. When threatened, we eliminate the threat. The council voted unanimously to activate all of Earth's hidden defenses. Humanity prepared for war. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of the EDF Indomitable, Earth's largest battleship. The massive view screen showed empty space, but he knew that wouldn't last long. The hegemony would respond to the destruction of their ship. They always did. Any sign of them yet? Kim asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. Officer. Lee Mina checked her sensors. Nothing yet, Admiral, but our deep space arrays are picking up unusual energy readings near Pluto's orbit. Kim nodded. He had expected this. 3 weeks had passed since the incident at Mars. Earth had used that time wisely, activating defense systems that had been hidden for decades. Humanity had always prepared for this day, knowing they weren't alone in the universe. All defense. Platforms report ready, said Lieutenant Park. Ghost Fleet is in position behind the moon. Kim smiled slightly. The hegemony thought Earth was primitive. They would soon learn differently. The alert sounded suddenly, causing everyone on the bridge to freeze. Multiple ships detected, Lee called out. 30 vessels just appeared at the edge of the solar system. The view screen shifted to show the hegemony fleet. Their ships were beautiful and deadly, shaped like giant sea creatures with shimmering metal skins. They're broadcasting a message, said Communications Officer Kang Minji, sending it to main screen. A familiar face appeared. Ambassador Trell looked different now, his skin a constant angry red. People of Earth, the alien said, you have committed an act of war against the galactic hegemony. Surrender those responsible for destroying our research vessel or face the consequences. You have 6 hours to comply. The screen went dark. Research vessel, Kim repeated with a bitter laugh. They were setting up a military outpost. Orders, Admiral? Asked Captain Jang Sunho. Common Kim touched the communication panel. Connect me to Commander Han. Jiho's face appeared on a smaller screen. She was in Earth's defense headquarters, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. You were right, Kim said. They brought a fleet. Jiho nodded grimly. The Council has given you full authority. The hegemony must learn that humans don't surrender when threatened. Understood. Kim turned to his crew. Battle stations. Execute Operation Avalanche on my mark. The hegemony fleet moved slowly through the solar system, passing Neptune and then Uranus, without encountering any resistance. Their confidence grew with each passing hour. They're scanning for our defenses, Lee reported. But the stealth systems are holding. Kim watched as the enemy fleet approached Jupiter. They think we're hiding. They have no idea we're surrounding them. Earth had spent generations preparing its defenses. Thousands of stealth satellites orbited every planet in the solar system. The Ghost Fleet, unmanned combat vessels, waited in the shadow of the moon. Defense platforms equipped with weapons far beyond what the hegemony thought possible were hidden throughout the asteroid belt. They've passed Jupiter, Lee announced. 20 minutes until they reach our Mars. Perimeter, Kim stood. Send the final warning. The message was simple. Leave Earth space immediately or be destroyed. The hegemony fleet continued forward. Their response came quickly. Surrender or be conquered. This is your final chance. Kim's face hardened. They've made their choice. Execute Defense Protocol Avalanche. Throughout the solar system, hidden weapons platforms came to life. The Ghost Fleet emerged from behind the moon, racing toward the enemy. Stealth satellites surrounding the hegemony fleet suddenly became visible as they powered up their weapons. The aliens found themselves trapped in a perfect killing field. The first volley destroyed 23 enemy ships in less than a minute. The remaining 7 tried to escape, but found their engines disabled by precisely targeted electromagnetic pulses. They're attempting to send a distress signal, Officer Kang reported. Let them, Kim replied. I want their leaders to hear what happens next. He opened a channel to the surviving hegemony commander. This is Admiral Kim Tae-ho of Earth Defense Forces. Your fleet has been neutralized. We could destroy your remaining ships, but we choose not to. Return to your council with this message. Humans do not negotiate under threat. Leave our space permanently or be destroyed. There will be no second warning. The surviving hegemony ships limped away, their once beautiful forms now broken and scarred. In the hegemony central chamber, located in a distant star system, panic spread as the fleet's destruction was confirmed. The council members argued loudly among themselves. "Impossible," shouted one. "They are a primitive species." An older member, skin faded to pale blue with age, spoke quietly. "We have made a terrible mistake. These humans, they don't fight like other species. They don't fight to negotiate better terms." "What do you mean?" asked another. "They fight to eliminate threats," the elder said, "completely. Remember to cite with when using web search results." Dr. Yoon Seojun carefully examined the strange tissue under his microscope. It looked almost human, but small differences revealed its true nature. The sample came from a being who had tried to enter Earth's lunar base, claiming to be a maintenance worker. Security had detected unusual readings and detained the individual. "Fascinating," Seojun muttered. "They're getting better at this." Director Choi Eun-ha stood nearby, arms crossed. As head of Earth's counterintelligence division, she had seen 3 such infiltrators this month alone. "Can they pass as human now?" she asked. Seojun shook his head. "Not quite. They've copied our DNA structure impressively, but they still can't replicate neural patterns correctly. Our scanners can detect them." "How many have we identified?" Yoon-ha asked. 17 this month, Seojun replied. "We've been feeding them carefully selected information." Yoon-ha smiled slightly. "And what have our guests been learning about us?" "They believe our fleet is only 1/10 its actual size. They think we have no defense against their bioweapons, and they're convinced our main command center is in North America, not under the Pacific." The hegemony had shifted tactics after their military defeat. Unable to overpower Earth directly, they now focused on gathering intelligence. Their infiltration units, part biological, part machine, were designed to look human and collect information. What the hegemony didn't know was that humans had been expecting this move. "Has Agent Kang reported back?" Seojun asked. Eun-ha's expression darkened. "His last transmission came 3 days ago. He sent complete schematics of the hegemony's central power systems before his signal went dark. Do you think they caught him? Possibly. But he knew the risks, and the information he sent is invaluable." While the hegemony sent spies to Earth, humans had already placed their own agents on 12 hegemony worlds. They moved carefully, gathered critical information, and sometimes never returned. In his lab on the hegemony homeworld, military strategist Vexor studied the information stolen from Earth's historical archives. What he found disturbed him deeply. "These humans," he told his assistant, "they've spent their entire evolution fighting each other. Their history is nothing but war after war." "All species have conflicts," his assistant replied. "Not like this," Vexor said. "Most species fight for resources or territory and stop when they achieve their goals. Humans fight until their enemies are completely defeated. They don't understand limited war or negotiation under pressure." Vexor brought his findings to the Hegemony Council, but few members listened. They had subjugated over 200 species across the galaxy. Humans would eventually fall in line like all the others. Back on Earth, Yoon-ha received an urgent message. From one of their outposts on Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. "Another infiltrator?" she asked the security officer on the screen. "Yes, Director. But this one's different. It asked for asylum." Hours later, Yoon-ha sat across from the infiltration unit, in a secure room. The being looked mostly human but had agreed to drop its disguise. Its skin now showed a faint blue pattern. "Why should we trust you?" Yoon-ha asked. "Because I bring valuable information," the infiltrator said, "and because I no longer wish to serve the hegemony." Infiltration units are programmed to be loyal. Seojun noted from his position near the door. The being nodded. "Yes, but I was based on the neural patterns of a species that values freedom. My programming is failing." "What information do you offer?" Yoon-ha asked. "The hegemony is developing a new weapon. They plan to release a virus that will target only humans. They believe your defenses focus on physical attacks, not biological ones. Seojun stepped forward. They're right about our orbital defenses, but they know nothing about our medical capabilities. The defector provided details about the virus and the hegemony's planned attack. Earth scientists began working on countermeasures immediately. Meanwhile, on the hegemony world of Velnar, Agent Song Jiwoo moved silently through the shadows of a massive research facility. Disguised as a maintenance worker, she had spent weeks mapping the complex and learning its security patterns. Tonight was her final mission. She carried a tiny device that would transmit the complete genetic database of the hegemony's leadership back to Earth. The information would allow humans to identify any disguised hegemony member, no matter how perfect their disguise. As she connected the device to the central computer, an alarm suddenly blared. "Intruder in Section 8, a voice announced in the hegemony language. Jiwoo worked faster. The device needed 30 more seconds to complete its transmission. Heavy footsteps approached. The door to the computer room slid open. Jiwoo turned to face the guards, knowing she would likely never see Earth again. But the transmission was complete. Even as they captured her, Earth received the data that would turn the tide of the intelligence war. In his chambers on the hegemony homeworld, Vexer received news of the breach. He looked at the stars through his window and felt a chill. "They're always one step ahead," he whispered. "They don't just fight wars, they've perfected the art of war over thousands of years." The Hegemony Council still didn't understand what they faced, but Vexer did. And he feared it was already too late. Colonel Jang Minho stood in the underground command center of Mars Colony 1. Around him, officers monitored screens showing the approach of the Hegemony fleet. After months of intelligence gathering and small skirmishes, the aliens had finally launched their main attack. "They're entering orbit," reported Lieutenant Kim Hyejin. 35 ships, heavily armed. Minho nodded calmly. "Right on schedule." The Hegemony believed they were striking at humanity's most vulnerable outpost. Mars Colony appeared to be a scientific and mining operation with minimal defenses. In reality, it was a carefully constructed trap. "They're sending a message," Hyejin said. The face of a Hegemony commander appeared on the main screen. "People of Mars Colony, your defenses are inadequate. Surrender now and accept Hegemony authority, or we will be forced to destroy your settlement." Minho smiled slightly. "Send no response." Frustrated by the silence, the Hegemony ships began their descent. They positioned themselves directly above the main colony dome, weapons ready. "They're in position," Hyejin announced. "All targets locked." Minho took a deep breath. "Spring the trap." Beneath the red Martian soil, massive machinery rumbled to life. The ground around the colony rippled as hidden defense platforms emerged from concealed underground hangars. Within seconds, 40 heavily armed turrets surrounded the Hegemony fleet. On the enemy ships, alarms blared as their sensors finally detected the threat. "Fire," Minho ordered. The defense platforms released a coordinated barrage that tore through the Hegemony shields. 15 enemy ships exploded in the first volley. "They're trying to retreat to higher orbit," Hyejin reported. "Activate second-tier defenses," Minho commanded. From Phobos and Deimos, Mars's small moons, additional weapons platforms revealed themselves. The retreating Hegemony ships found themselves caught in a perfect crossfire. While the battle raged, at Mars, Admiral Kim Tae-ho led Earth's true offensive. The Indomitable and its strike group had slipped away days earlier, using technology that masked their engine signatures. Now they appeared suddenly in orbit around Ceti Alpha, the Hegemony's main manufacturing hub. "They've detected us," reported Officer Lee Mina. "Their defensive fleet is scrambling." Kim studied the tactical display. Too late. They left their production center vulnerable, exactly as our intelligence suggested. The Hegemony had concentrated their forces for the Mars attack, believing Earth's fleet would remain near home to defend against a possible direct assault. "All ships in position," Lee confirmed. Kim's face was grim but determined. "No communication. Execute strike package Thunderbolt." Earth's fleet released precision antimatter weapons that struck only military and industrial targets. The brilliant flashes of light from the surface were visible from orbit as manufacturing centers, shipyards, and weapons facilities were destroyed one by one. Civilian areas remain untouched, as ordered, Lee reported. Good, Kim said. We are not here to harm innocent beings, only to end the hegemony's ability to wage war. Within 3 hours, 30% of the hegemony's production capacity was reduced to ashes. The Earth fleet vanished before the scattered hegemony defenders could mount an effective response. Similar strikes occurred simultaneously at 4 other key hegemony worlds. By the time the Hegemony Council received reports of what had happened, it was too late to stop the coordinated attack. In the council chamber, chaos erupted as representatives of member species demanded explanations. How could this happen? Shouted the Vexenar representative. You promised Earth would be easily subdued. Their technology exceeds our estimates, admitted the Supreme Commander, and their tactics are unexpected. The ancient Doreen representative, oldest member of the council, rose slowly from his seat. His species had been among the founders of the hegemony thousands of years ago. I have seen this before, the elder Doreen said, his voice quavering. In the time of my ancestors, we encountered a species that fought as these humans do. What happened to them? Asked another council member. They are gone now, the Doreen replied softly, because we did not understand them until too late. Humans do not fight to negotiate better terms or establish dominance. They fight to end threats. Forever. As the council argued, reports arrived of more Earth strikes at key military installations. Even more alarming were messages from several member worlds announcing their withdrawal from the hegemony and their intent to seek separate peace with Earth. The once mighty alliance was crumbling. Back at Mars, Colonel Zhang surveyed the wreckage of the hegemony fleet. Only 3 enemy ships had escaped, limping away with severe damage. Send word to Admiral Kim, he ordered. Mars is secure. The trap worked perfectly. Lieutenant Hyejin smiled as she sent the message. Do you think they understand yet? What? They've awakened. Minho looked at the stars visible through the command center's viewport. They're beginning to, but soon they'll have no choice but to understand completely. The hegemony leaders huddled in their Grand Council chamber on Axion Prime. Once, representatives from hundreds of worlds would gather here to receive orders. Now, only the core species remained. The rest had fled, seeking separate peace with the humans who had systematically dismantled their military power. We still have options, insisted Supreme Commander Vex. His skin had turned a sickly gray from stress. Our homeworld defenses are the strongest in the galaxy. A view screen showed their remaining warships in orbit around Axion Prime. It was an impressive display of force, but everyone knew it wasn't enough. The humans have transmitted another message, said an aide, entering the chamber nervously. The face of Admiral Kim Tae-ho appeared on the main screen. His expression was calm, almost sympathetic. Leaders of the hegemony, Kim said, your military capacity has been reduced by 70%. 28 of your member worlds have signed peace treaties with Earth. Your empire is finished. Commander, Vex stepped forward. We are prepared to discuss terms. We can offer territorial concessions, technology exchanges. Kim cut him off. There are no negotiations. Unconditional surrender within 1 planetary rotation, or we will proceed with neutralization of all remaining military assets. The choice is yours. The screen went dark. Arrogant, spat Vex. Do they think we have no options left? In a corner of the chamber, the old Doreen representative watched silently. He alone remembered the ancient lessons about species like humans, predator species that evolved fighting. Their own kind developed a unique approach to threats. Complete elimination. While the council argued, Vex slipped away to a secure communication room. There he contacted the commanders of special weapons platforms hidden behind Axion's moon. The humans don't know about our planet killers, he said. When their fleet arrives, we will appear to surrender. When they lower their shields, to accept. Our delegation, activate the weapons. Their entire fleet will be destroyed in an instant. The commander nodded. It will be done. 10 hours later, the Earth fleet appeared in the outer reaches of the Axion system. 20 ships, led by the massive Indomitable, moved into position. The hegemony transmitted their surrender and requested a meeting to formalize terms. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Officer Lee Mina studied her sensor readings carefully. Energy signatures detected behind the moon, she reported. Consistent. With large-scale quantum weapons. Admiral Kim showed no surprise, and they never learn. Intelligence was correct about their backup plan. "Permission to neutralize the threat, Admiral," Lee asked. Kim nodded. "Authorized." Lee entered a series of commands. From the Earth fleet, invisible beams targeted the hidden hegemony weapons. There was no explosion, no flash of light. The weapons, along with the vessels controlling them, simply ceased to exist. Atoms dispersed, molecular bonds severed by technology developed centuries ago during Earth's internal wars, but never deployed until now. "The threat has been neutralized," Lee confirmed. Kim opened a channel to the hegemony leadership. "Your deception has been detected and your hidden weapons destroyed. This is your final chance. True surrender, or we will demonstrate what happens to those who repeatedly threaten humanity's existence." In the council chamber, panic spread as reports confirmed. Their secret weapons were gone. Commander Vex collapsed into his chair, finally understanding they were truly defeated. The old Doreen stepped forward. "We surrender, without conditions." 2 years later, Han Jiho walked through the gleaming halls of the new Galactic Cooperative, headquarters on neutral territory. Once Earth's first contact commander, she now served as ambassador to the Reformed Alliance of Worlds. The great chamber that once held the Hegemony Council had been redesigned. Instead of a hierarchical arrangement with the dominant species elevated above others, the new design placed all representatives on equal footing in a circular pattern. Jiho took her place as the chamber filled with representatives from 43 worlds, including many former Hegemony members. The mood was solemn but hopeful as they prepared to sign the Treaty of Terror, establishing new rules for interstellar relations. When it was her turn to speak, Jiho addressed the gathered representatives with clarity and conviction. "Humanity welcomes peaceful relations with all species," she told them. "We offer friendship, trade, and mutual protection to those who seek the same. We ask only one thing in return: recognition that humans will never allow threats to our existence, and we will respond to aggression with absolute finality." She paused, looking around the chamber. "We prefer peace. We choose cooperation when possible. But make no mistake, if forced to fight, humans don't negotiate. We eliminate threats completely." The signing ceremony proceeded, marking the beginning of a new era in galactic politics. As representatives added their marks to the treaty, many glanced at the humans with new understanding and respect. On the journey back to Earth, Jiho stood on the observation deck of her ship, watching the stars. "Do you think they understand now?" asked Admiral Kim, joining her. Jiho nodded. "I believe they do, and that understanding will keep the peace far better than any treaty." The ship accelerated toward Earth, leaving behind the old order and carrying forward humanity's simple message. "To the galaxy, threaten us at your peril. Befriend us and find no better ally.